So, welcome to the Energy Star Talk, JP Cooper. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm still waking up. As we said, it's still quite early, or at least in my head. But it's good. Good to be here in Germany. So I'm happy.
Is it actually the first time here for you in Berlin?
I've been a couple of times to visit as a tourist, and I actually did one show here with Leon Bridges, supporting him. It was very random. I think it was like one of his earlier shows because it was quite a small venue.
I've been there actually.
Yeah,
but we came later. So we missed you.
No, it was a really tough gig actually. The sound was terrible, and so it's good that you weren't there. Yeah. But yeah, it's good to be back.
So how's your German so far?
Not too good. Like I came to Germany a few times when I was younger. I actually have a sister that lives here, but it's bad. Yeah,
so
it should be better, but it's bad.
So you don't want to prove how bad it is?
I'd rather not, but I've got a feeling I'm going to.
No, don't worry. Don't worry. Do you have some time actually to see some things when you're in promo here now?
Well, maybe this evening. I mean, we got quite a busy week, so I think I'm probably going to be getting some rest because up until now we've hit a lot of different places. I've only ever been here in the winter. I need to come back in the summer and see what it's like. So
I mean, winter is shitty.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So I need to come back in the summer. Maybe today I'm just going to wrap up and stay in my hotel. Sorry.
Yeah. But next time then. Yeah. Now I've got a little questionnaire for you because you're here the first time for us, so we get to know you a bit better. The very easy questions. The first one is your full name, please.
My full name is John Paul Cooper.
And how does your mum call you?
JP. I only really get John Paul when I'm in trouble. Yeah. So
usually, yes.
I'm a good boy. Usually JP.
Your place of birth?
Manchester, England.
And would you say that you're a typical Brit? You know,
in some respects, yes.
5 o'clock afternoon tea?
No. But in others, no. I don't think I look like a typical Brit. But I guess there are certain values like I don't really like. In a similar way to there's a few Brits that British boys whenever they come abroad, the slightest bit of sun they got the shirts off. But I think that older we're quite like prudish when it comes to like skin and things. So you'll never see me in shorts, and you'll very rarely see me with my shirt off. So in the traditional way, maybe, but I'm not like the modern day British boy.
Do you like waiting in line? You know, queuing?
I don't enjoy it, but I do it. Yeah. Is that only? Do you not do that so much here?
Yeah, we do, but the British are very correct.
We love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And next question is, what was the first record you bought?
The first record that I bought was Bad, Michael Jackson. Yeah.
I like to tell the story. For me, it was the Smurfs.
Okay, it was like a novelty Christmas thing, maybe.
Volume 2 something.
You just loved it.
Yeah.
And was that a bit like the Chipmunks or something? Like
yeah. High pitched voices.
Cool.
So Michael Jackson Bad isn't.
Yeah. It's
quite
that's
cool.
the first one I can remember. It was maybe something worse than that, but I think I'll go with that.
And the first concert you've been to?
Oasis. I've been from Manchester, a place in, I'm going to show my age, in a venue called the G-Mex in Manchester in '97. I was quite young, and we managed to get my friend's older brother to buy us some beers, and I felt very cool.
And do you remember your own very first gig?
My first gig outside of I did a couple of things in school, but that doesn't really count. So my first gig was a little place in Manchester that was actually a rehearsal rooms, but a lot of punks used to take booze in there and make their own bar, and every different room they had a band performing and people would come down, so it was kind of an illegal thing. And I can remember doing that with a little band that I was in, and now the place has been turned into into flats or something like that. So it wasn't really a venue, but I can remember thinking that there was going to be like record label people there. I was very naive, but it was fun. I remember that.
I'm so sorry. You know when you've got a cough and you're doing an interview? That happened to me 2 months ago, and then I couldn't stop coughing, so...
Probably is not the start.
No, don't worry. And from a scale from 1 to 10, do you still remember how stage fright you were at that moment?
Do you know what? I was so much more confident when I was younger. I don't know what it was. I was so excited. Literally, I couldn't sleep for like 3 days before the show. I was so excited to do my first ever gig. Felt really cool. I was in a band. You know, we were a rock band, so we just jumped around and shouted at people. And yeah, it was really strange. When I was younger, I didn't get scared. I think I was kind of... It was the confidence of youth, I think. And now I don't get so much. There was a stage when I first started like doing solo, my own music. I was really, really scared to the point where my hands would shake and I couldn't play the guitar. So, but at the beginning I was like 0.
But which is cool.
Yeah, crazy. I wish I could have that back.
Yeah, maybe it comes back.
I hope so.
And your top 3 musical idols?
So I'll go with the first kind of movement that really, really grabbed me in music was grunge music. And it was a singer of a band called Pearl Jam, a guy called Eddie Vedder, who he's just like, he's never done anything wrong in my eyes musically. He's incredible. So that would be one. Donny Hathaway, who's incredible soul singer. He's amazing. And yeah, I don't know other people that know any of these. And the other one would be probably Bill Withers, the guy that wrote Lean on Me. Just as a human being and as a songwriter, he writes very simply in a very human, everyman's kind of way. And I don't know if you've seen the documentary Still Bill.
Yeah.
It's one of the best music documentaries ever. It's just about him. He's still alive. He just stopped making music. He didn't sign a deal until he was 30. He used to fit like toilets in Boeing 747 planes, and then he signed this deal, and he's written so many incredible songs. And then he wasn't interested in the fame and the rest of it. And now he's just this dude. He's just very regular guy. He's amazing. So yeah, Bill Withers would be the third one.
And is it true that you played a show with Stevie Wonder? Was it last year?
I nearly said Stevie Wonder. I nearly did. Because obviously he's Stevie Wonder. So yeah, I did. He would be, if there was 4, he would be there. And
now it's 4.
So yeah, last year, which is absolutely incredible. You know, it's one of those things to do before you die. Is like, I get to support Stevie Wonder. That was amazing at Hyde Park in London. Yeah, I'll never forget that.
And did you talk to him?
No. I really want. Do you know what? I just wanted to shake his hand and say thank you. That was all I wanted to say. I didn't want to have a long conversation with him, but he had such an entourage around him. Like, you couldn't get near him. Like, he had a separate area for dressing and the rest of it. So when we arrived, he was sound checking. He was like just on stage, so I kind of stood at the edge of the stage and just watched. And you know, he was literally like so close. He's huge. He's really tall. Like, I was really surprised.
Did you do photos?
I think I did a few videos during his performance, but I was like, we had such a good time. I had a few drinks. I was just dancing and smiling. It was amazing.
And the 2 last questions for the questionnaire. Number 6 is, what are your talents and hobbies apart from the music?
So, my talents and hobbies apart from music. I used to be, nowadays it's like music, everything's just music, but I used to be really into sport. Like, before I did music, I was like on all of the sports teams at school. Like, I was a very energetic child, so I think my dad just got me involved in every club so that I'd go to bed on time. So I was really into sport, running, swimming, basketball. So now, you know, I enjoy trying to do some of that, but I don't get much time. as far as talents go, I think music was like the only thing I had, so I just ran with it. My family were all artists, visual artists, painters, and I'm terrible at it. I can't draw. So I think I'm yet to learn what my other talents are. I need to start looking for them.
And coming from the talents to the bad habits, do you have any?
Bad habits. Let me think. I think one of the things that I've been trying to keep an eye on, because I think everybody has it at the minute, and it's a real issue in the Western world, is mobile phones. Like, I'm trying to like put a limit on like how much, especially like because I have to do so much on social media and things like that. You can find yourself. So I think that's the one that I'm like consciously trying to stop, is like just stop looking at your phone. And I think anybody under probably 40 these days is having the same problem. So I guess that's the main one. Gave up smoking. I like a drink, but that's a good habit now.
Nail biting?
Yeah. No, not nail biting actually. I used to, but because I play the guitar, it'll be all scratchy, and so that went.
Yeah, and now coming to the music, when did you actually start making music, or and was there ever a point that you decided I wanted to do that for a living?
Yeah, well, I think I was always a dreamer as a child growing up. Like I said, I did a lot of sports, so when I started doing sports, that was it. I was going to be an Olympian. It was never just like I want to be the best in school. It was like I want to. So music was. I kind of started getting into it again, like in the late 90s when Oasis were just the biggest thing in the world, and coming from the same town as them, city as them, a lot of young boys had guitars, you know, in their house, and it rains a lot in Manchester, so we'd spend a lot of time indoors, and you know, just my friend would play the guitar, and we'd like look up chord books, and we'd learn Oasis songs and things like that. And then that very quickly moved into us forming a little band at school, and straight away I was like, we're doing this. Like, I can remember our drummer was like, he wasn't a drummer, but he was our friend, and he was like, well, I'll buy a drum kit and I'll be your drummer. So he you know, it was terrible, it was so bad. And every week we'd come back, and we used to rehearse in the hall after school, and I would say to him, you not practice? Why haven't you practiced? I can tell you couldn't play that beat last week and you can't play it this week. And he was like, we're not exactly going to be the next Foo Fighters. And I was like, well, we're 15, like, how do you know? And I just always had that attitude. And, you know, it took a long time, but now I'm making music as a job, so. And
did you ever had a plan B? Or maybe a regular jobs?
Yeah, not really. I think I thought about it, and I thought what I might do, but I didn't really do anything about it. Like, you know, up until, you know, only doing music as an income, I worked in bars, cafes, warehouses, restaurants, like anything that wasn't full time, because I wanted to be able to rehearse a certain amount of days a week, and I didn't want the responsibility of having to say, please can I go and do a gig somewhere. So it was, I worked a lot of, you know, service jobs, you know, smiling at people and serving them coffee or beer. And, so that was cool. But the one thing that I thought I might like to do is something like carpentry or joinery, something visual, you know, you can, because the one thing with music is you can hear it and you can feel it when you make it, but you can't see it and you can't touch it. And like, you know, even if it's something like, I've just built a wall today in my garden, like you finish and you go, I did that today. I kind of miss that with music, you know. There's coming from a family of like painters, like there's something that I want to look at it and see it and feel it. But so something like that where I'm building things would be good.
And maybe that can be your hobby or talent.
Yeah, when there comes time, I really want to learn.
And last year there was Perfect Stranger,
Yes.
Jonas Blues song, and you were singing on it. And how did that happen?
So that came about. Guy, or Jonas, he sent me the backing track, the instrumental that he'd written, and I think he'd sent it around to a few people and said, you know, I'm really looking for a melody and a lyric for this song, but I was under the impression that he just wanted me to write, you know, and not didn't want me to be the featuring artist. So I was like, okay, cool, you know, we'll write something. And me and a friend of mine sat down for like a day and sketched something out and did a demo recording of the vocal, sent it over to him, and he was like, this is great, we really, really love it. So we got together over FaceTime, which only because I hadn't met him at this point. And we just tweaked some little bits here and there, and within 2 days it was done. And I thought, okay, cool, well, you know, you can give it to the singer and the singer can do it. And then he was like, we love the vocal you've done, can we use it? So, because the music that I'd done up until then was really different from, you know, kind of tropical house, or I don't know what you call it. I don't know this style of music really so much. But I was a little bit like, oh, I don't know, should I do it? But we thought, all right, let's give it a try. And then it became like one of the biggest songs of 2016. So, and, you know, it opened my eyes to that kind of music. You know, I got my first trip to Ibiza out of it, and you know, I've done a lot of dance festivals and seen a lot of smiling people having a great time, so I'm grateful for it. It's been an amazing ride. And
do you remember the first time you heard it on the radio and what you were doing? Because it's different when
it's a tough one. I can't remember the first time because it was on the radio so much that I think maybe I heard it in like a clothing store or something like that first, and I was like, just had a quiet giggle to myself while I was trying on a jacket or something. But honestly, like I was getting like messages of people in their car, like my friends, like with it on the radio, dancing, you know, videos of them. I still get them now, you know, and now it's not only in the UK, it's all over the world. Like someone was just in their car with that on, and very strange, but good. And now it's your first real song, September song, and that's your first official maybe sign of life in that, you know, mainstream thingy. Tell us a bit about that song, what it means to you, and yeah. So I wrote September Song about a year ago, and it was really just you know, it is what it is. It's a very simple, very innocent, very nostalgic look back at a time in your life when, you know, the biggest problems is how long you have to spend during the summer holidays away from your high school crush or your high school girlfriend. So it was that, you know, there's not that many like beautiful, innocent love songs in the charts these days, you know, so we wanted to do something that was just sweet. But it was written, and I wasn't sure whether I was going to release it because I liked it, but we just thought, I don't know. But because of the Jonas Blue thing, we were thinking after that it'd be really good to have a song that bridges the gap between my usual sound and that. So we thought we'd give that a go, and luckily it connected and it seems to be doing quite well. And did you already catch that on the radio? Yeah, we were doing a UK regional radio promo tour. So we were in the van, and I had like the crew, like the boys from the band, and yeah, that came on. So it was really, really good. We made a little video of us listening to it and posted it online, and that was good. That felt really good because it was. I knew that the Jonas Blue thing was going to get radio play because he was already in that world, but to hear my own song was, yeah, it was really special. And when's the album? Are you already working on it? The album's nearly finished. I've recorded so many songs for it. Like it's almost as if there's been 3 different versions of the album. It's kind of evolved over the last couple of years, and now most of it's done. We're just deciding which. We're kind of riding a wave at the minute. You know, like we're in this beautiful position with September songs like picking up here, there, and everywhere. It's been a top 10 in the UK. So we kind of just decided which cards to play next. You know, we have a few singles, deciding which ones we think will work. So the album will be coming definitely within the first half of this year, but I don't want to say an exact date because we're just going to decide when's the best time. Puts you under pressure then. Yeah. So cool. Thanks very much for the interview. Thank you very much.